everybody. Thanks for tuning in to the channel today. I wanted to share just sort of my explorations of the Banjitar, which has been the most fun thing I've done. I started this with COVID last year. I've got a bunch of guitars and I wanted something that was a little bit different sound. And I had played with a friend using a Banjitar because he was a really good guitarist and we really didn't need two good guitarists in the band. So I decided to bring in a different tone texture and that was with the Banjitar. And I really enjoyed playing that a whole lot. And so as I have gotten a collection of Banjitars now, and then you can, if you've been watching any of the videos on the channel, you see me kind of exploring what it can do. And one of the things that I have discovered is like, well, a standard acoustic guitar string set, which is what they come shipped with usually, doesn't make the Banjitar sound as good as it can sound. And so one of the things I have done is play around with the string sets. First of all, I switched over to electric strings, then I kept going down in gauge to about like a 9 gauge or a 10 gauge and found some pretty good results there. But one of the things that you run into is the low strings just go beyond the range of a regular banjo, and that doesn't always sound as good as what you'd like it to. Sometimes it can sound pretty cool, so it just depends on what you're doing with it. So for accompaniment and playing with other instruments, you want to have kind of a higher kind of sound. It's a more banjo-like sound. So I started playing around with string gauges and shifting octaves up onto the higher strings, and I came up with, there's a video I've got earlier where I came up with a string gauging thing that I've kind of borrowed from a guy named Banjo Bill. He has a great video on his site where he talks about what he uses. And I played around with that for a while, and what he ends up with is basically all unwound strings. And I've seen some other people do some similar things, change maybe the top 2 strings to be an octave higher. That way it keeps the regular banjo range for the E, B, G, and D strings, but then the top 2 strings, which are the A and the E, are lower than what a regular banjo is. So by bumping those up an octave, it can make a difference. And so anyway, I decided to try something out, and this has worked out just beautifully for me. This, if I can put this where there's not a bunch of light on this reflecting, these are D'Addario electric guitar strings gauged with what is called Nashville tuning. If you're not familiar with Nashville tuning is basically the top octaves of a 12-string guitar set. So in other words, the top 4 strings of the guitar, the E, A, D, and G strings, are an octave higher. And on a 12-string guitar, you have the lower octave plus the higher octaves, and that gives you the 12-string effect. A lot of Nashville guitarists, what they do is because they don't want to have too much of low end rumbling in with the bass and other instruments that might be in there, and they want this real jangly sound, they will use the Nashville tuning in order of a way it gives almost a 12-string like effect without having to deal with the tuning issues of a 12-string. So I put this nickel wound electric guitar Nashville tuning set on my Banjitar, and man, this just pops. And now I have posted a couple of, along with this, some little snippets of some songs me playing along with them. And you can hear just the banjo kind of tone you get out of this. And depending on whether you pick back towards the bridge. You can even do kind of a frailing kind of thing. So it's pretty cool what you can do with this. The thing I like about it most is that the feel from string to string, as far as the string tension, is very balanced, like you'd have on a regular electric guitar set. So the string tension is very low, very easy to play. I'm getting older in years, and I'm starting to get a little bit of arthritis in my hands, so it's one of the reasons why I enjoy playing the Banjitar too. It's much easier to play than a 12-string guitar or a 6-string guitar, as I had done for years and years. But the consistency of the feel from string to string, and the only wound string on the whole set is the low E string, which in this case, it's that middle E. So the strings, now on my Banjitar, and different Banjitars come with different scale lengths. The scale length, if you're not familiar with it, is the playable part of the string from here up to the nut. On an average guitar, a long scale guitar is usually about 20, like a Stratocaster is 25.5 inches. On a Les Paul type guitar, it's usually 24 3/4 inches. This Banjitar and all the ones I've got are about 26.25 to 26.5 inches. That's normal for a banjo, but for guitar strings, that's kind of a stretch, especially in this octave set where this string, the third string, is an octave higher. So this is like a 10 or a 9. Tuning that up to a full G on this is probably going to break the string very easily. I can do it, I have tried it, but it's really easy to pop that string. Even on 12-string guitar, a lot of 12-string guitars tune down so they don't pop that high G string there. On a regular banjo, that high G is that little half string that they have here on the top. And so stretching that string 26.5 inches and bringing it up to a full concert pitch G is it's kind of tough. So what I do is I tune this down a whole step, and you see I'm capoed at the 2nd fret. Now that's kind of handy for me because my 12-string guitars, some of them I tune down a whole step. So if I want to play along with a recording of my 12-string, I don't have to retune the banjo to do it. I don't have to transpose anymore. And it's easy to just slap on the capo and then just play this thing in standard tuning. And then you get all the wonderful banjos. Great banjo tone, and the feel is very good. So anyway, this is not a commercial for Diodario. They don't endorse me, and I don't get paid for doing this. But if you're exploring the Banjitar, this is an option that you might want to try out. So they are the Diodario XL nickel wound Nashville tuning. Give that a try. See if that works for you. Thanks for watching the channel. Please like, subscribe, share. And make sure you check out the website at banjatars.com if you're a banjitar, 6-string banjo, gitjo, ganjo, whatever you want to call these things, if you're a lover of this particular instrument, or if you're just interested in it and just want to know more about it. Thanks again for watching.